Here we go again. New day, a new project. If you guys aren't aware already, in other videos, I covered the winch installation and the switch plate installation, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. Only problem is I got one scratch right there, but I have touch-up paint coming, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot more scratches on this before I'm done. But now I'm working on the windshield, which is right here, nice and safe for the time being. This is what comes in the kit for the windshield, as far as the Honda windshield is concerned. So I got these two plastic clips, I got these two gaskets. Here's a couple of spacers, a couple of bolts, and then a couple of washers. Now I was looking over the instructions, and for a second I thought that I was missing some stuff, but then I realized that it looks like these bolts and nuts are mounted to the top here of the windshield out of the package. So hopefully I have everything that I need in order to get this done. I'm gonna start by taking off the roof. I have a number 5 and a number 6 Allen wrench here, and I'm gonna take this sucker off, get it going. I don't know if you guys have experience riding on these things without a windshield going 65, 70 miles an hour. You need a windshield. So let's pull these bolts off here. Looks like there's 4 bolts on the top and then 2 bolts on the bottom. There we go. It's definitely important when you're doing this to make sure that you're using the right size Allen wrench, and then also that it's installed or inserted all the way in there nice and tight, because you don't want to strip anything out. All right, so it looks like there's going to be a bolt here and a bolt there, and these should be 5mm. Yup. Also, when I'm doing this, I make sure that everything is square. Like, I don't want to be hitting this from a weird angle or anything, because if it wasn't square, that's just another opportunity to like strip this out. All right, got all the hardware, which I'm gonna put right here and pull off this roof. It should pop right off now. It's pretty light. It's a lot lighter than the windshield. Roof is off. All right, so I just got this. Took me a minute. I was trying to figure out the right way to install these brackets here. The instructions are not the best in the world, but right here there is like almost like a little hook on this flange here, and this one popped. I took the little hook on there and put it right there, and then I was able to twist it and push it. So this is what it's supposed to look like here. This is on the outside of the machine. It's got this little hook right here, and then it twisted into place, and it does seem like these are adjustable. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna be right. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. Once I figured out the right way to do it, it was actually easier than I was expecting. There we go. Yep, and it's still adjustable, just like the other side there. And the holes seem to be square with the frame here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these bolts here. So it is a 5mm Allen wrench and a 13mm socket. I'll remove these bolts here on the top of the windshield. These appear to be adjustable, so they like to go side to side. Hopefully that will help with installation. gives me a little wiggle room. Go ahead and leave it like that. Same thing with this one. Okay, so I have this retrofitted. I haven't attached any of the bolts yet or anything, but made sure that I have all of the gaskets in place. Looks like the instructions are calling for me to reinstall these two bolts up here. And this is looking pretty clean. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So, I mean, so far. And it'll be nice to not have the wind blowing when I'm driving around on this thing fast. Seems like all of the different gaskets and everything are lining up well. Staying in place. The holes are lining up good. You know what I'm gonna do first though, before I adjust any of this weather stripping, is just make sure it's secure on the top, because it would be horrible if this thing slid out on me at all, and you know, for one thing, it could scratch up the hood, but also, you know, if this thing fell, it could break, right? So let me get that going. So again, I have a 13mm socket and a 5mm tom wrench. I'm surprised they didn't give me a washer. Wasn't anything like that here, but just be careful. Definitely not a lot of space right here to work with. A deep socket here is a must. This is looking pretty clean. Props to Honda. I know that all their stuff is like crazy expensive and backward, but I'm happy with this windshield. For sure. Like, I ordered this several months ago. Seems like the more I tighten it down, the more clean it's going to be. So these are the clips that I initially installed right here. This is looking pretty clean. These are the holes that I was talking about, making sure they were lined up. Right there. Next step is installing the weather stripping. It's helpful to have a bench, but I'm gonna make sure that it's centered up right here on the top, which you will see. One chance on this one. Don't want to F it up. But I have some good reach here. Okay, they gave us a little bit of extra here apparently. All right, I'll trim this off. There we go. Dare I say perfection? I don't know, the one downside to this is if I ever want to install a windshield wiper or you know, light bar or anything, it's going to be a lot more challenging to remove this piece right here. So I definitely took that into consideration, and if I ever do decide to do that, which I probably will, then I'm going to be, you know, fighting this panel here, because I'm not going to tear all this stuff apart. All right, now I'm going to reinstall the roof, but that looks pretty clean, right? Sure does. So you can't see the foam strip at all unless you bend down and look up. But that's pretty darn clean. Next step, reinstall the fasteners. Got everything right here in this bag. Love it when it's clean. together. So it looks like there are a couple of, what they call these elbowed nuts here, and those ones are going to go up from the bottom. And then the ones that aren't elbowed are going down from the top. Pretty simple. Try to make sure everything is nice and centered and square. I'll make the extra step to get these nuts and bolts and washers in place before I tighten everything down, just to make sure everything is as pristine as possible. And I'm glad I did that, because these weren't centered at all. Now I can tighten them down. There we go. That's the sound I'm looking for. And I can hear it like pop in. Just like that. What y'all think? Pretty clean, right? Looks good to me. I have a bolt to install there and a bolt to install there. After I do that, the roof is going to be back on and nice and secure. And this windshield's going to make a huge difference. I do see small gaps, like in between the weather stripping and the roll bars, but I mean, dude, the whole sides and doors and everything are open anyways, right? So mother effer. Where did that go? Ha! Right here, I found it. It's always the last bolt. Roof is reinstalled. The last step is using the bolts, the washers, and the spacer. All right, so it should be like this. I put the washer on the bolt, add the spacer like so. I'm using a 5mm Allen wrench to get it in place before I tighten it down. This may take a while. Quarter turn at a time, apparently. That's okay. I'm not in a hurry. I love the fact that it's glass. I have a plastic windshield on my Pioneer and it gets scratched up. Not horribly, but hopefully the glass will not get scratched up. And also, I plan on putting Rain-X on it. I thought about buying a windshield wiper. In fact, I tried to buy a windshield wiper, but they were back ordered. Who knows, I might end up doing that in the future. But hopefully Rain-X on glass will make a big difference. I do see there's vents down here underneath at the bottom of the windshield. And so hopefully that helps with anything fogging up when it's raining out. So again, I have the spacer, a washer, and a bolt. I'm gonna go just like that right there. All right, and a quarter turn at a time, right? Windshield is installed. The next thing I'm gonna be installing is this rear bed enclosure from Rough Country. Stay tuned.